everyone, and welcome to Business Boutique. I'm Christy, Wright, and today we are continuing our new series, 5 Ways to Be True to You. In part 1, we talked about being willing to experiment, to discover the person that you are and that you want to be. In part 2, we talked about you being willing to work hard, because if you're going to be true to you in this bigger, better life God has for you, well, it's going to take some hard work. Today, we are diving into part 3. This one's a hard for y'all. If you want to be true to you and step into this bigger, better, more awesome life that God has for you, you have to be willing to be humbled. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Oh, it sounds so nice. Like, oh, yes, I'm humble, and I will be more humble, and humility, I love humility. Do you though? Because I'm not saying you don't because you're arrogant, as if the opposite of humility is arrogance. I'm just saying being humbled is not fun. Have you ever been humbled? Have you ever gone through a season where God is humbling you, stripping away layers of your pride you didn't even know were there? Y'all, it hurts. Like, it hurts to your core. It is more vulnerable than you ever want to be. It stings deeper than you ever want to feel. And just when you think you can't take another hit, you know what's going to happen? The hits are going to keep coming, because that's what happens in those seasons. But just like I said last time, God cares more about who you're becoming than where you're going. You and I, we focus on the finish line. We're goal-oriented. I'm going to get there. I'm going to run hard, run fast. I'm going to check off my to-do list. And God's like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who you are today, how you're handling that conversation today, how you're handling that opportunity today, how you're handling that interaction today. And God will take you, as sure as I'm standing here, He will take you through seasons where He humbles you. I have been through those. I can think of several distinct seasons. And when I say season, I don't mean a day, y'all. I don't mean, I had a day where God really humbled me. It was so hard. It was like a day. No. I mean like 3 and 4 months of getting hit on all sides. 3 to 4 months of feeling wronged. 3 to 4 months that seem like they are full of injustice. But God, do you see me? But God, how are you letting this happen? But God, that's so unfair. But God, I'm right in this one. I'm actually, literally, objectively, factively right in this situation. And you feel wronged. And you feel like you're going to get another hit. And someone else is going to get credit for the work that you did. And you're going to feel like God has forgotten you. And you're going to feel abandoned. But He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't abandoned you. He actually is doing something in you. I love the verse that talks about discipline in the Bible. No discipline at the time seems pleasant, but painful. It seems painful. But your loving Father disciplines you like a child that He loves, because He loves you and He loves me. And if you're going to be true to you and the person that God created you to be in this bigger, better life, He's going to have to do some things in you before you're ready for it, before you can handle it, before I can handle it. And it's not a one and done thing. Let's be honest. We're going to go through multiple seasons of this in life. There was one specific season, and it was in the fall of 2017 that I'll never forget. And it was a valley. Oswald Chambers, who wrote the devotional My Utmost for His Highest, he describes this as the valley of humiliation. Oh, that's so accurate. It felt like a valley. It felt humiliating. There was one thing after another where I felt like I was putting in hard work and not being seen. I felt like I was wronged on every side, bad news at every turn. It was just one thing after another where I was thinking, God, I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. I thought I'd been faithful. I thought I'd checked all the boxes, done all the right thing. I thought I was being a good Christian, being a good leader, and the hits just kept on coming. We think like that, don't we? We think like, well, if I do the right things, then I'll have good results. Sometimes God is doing something in you that you can't see, and it hurts, and it's hard. There was one specific event I went to where I was really, really humiliated on stage by the person that introduced me. And I remember going back to my car after that and sitting in my car. This was in this season of darkness in this valley when I felt like I couldn't take anymore and tears were streaming down my face. And I cried out to God, God, do you even see me? Do you even see me? Do you see what I'm going through? Do you see how hard this is? Do you see how much it hurts? Later that day, I was walking across a building and a girl came up to me and she said, I just want you to know that I was at that event and I saw what happened. And I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you right now that God says he sees you. He sees you. She didn't know what she was saying, but I knew. I had cried those tears and cried that prayer in my car just hours earlier. And a woman that I have very little relationship with comes up to me and says, I want you to know that I feel like God's saying that he wants you to know that he sees you. The exact answer to my question of prayer, of tears in the car, the exact words that I used. So friend, I just want you to know, if you are in a season of humbling right now, if you are in a season of valley of humiliation where you're sitting there and you're crying out to God going, God, do you even see me? Yes, he does. He does see you. And you may feel abandoned, but you're not abandoned. The Bible says, never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go. He is with you in this valley. And I know it's hard. And I know it hurts. And even if you're not there right now, when you come to your next one of this season of humiliation and humbling, I just want you to take comfort in the fact that God sees you and he is with you. And it's not forever. He's doing something in you. I love the verse in Isaiah where the Bible says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Yes, you and I need to work hard, just like we talked about last time. It is up to us to steward what he's given us. It's up to us to be faithful. But it's not all us. Because if it was all us, when it happened, we would point back and go, look how good I did. Look at everything I accomplished. Look how strong and smart and clever and talented I am. No. God says, you work hard with what I've given you. But when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So you've got to be willing to be humbled. Be willing to go through those seasons. Be willing to be faithful when it hurts and you feel lost and you feel wronged and you feel abandoned. Be willing to be faithful even there in the valley, because that valley is not forever. But God is doing something in you in that valley, preparing you for what is next. So your journal question for today is to simply ask yourself, where do I need to be humbled? What does it look like for me to set my pride aside and be humbled before God in what he's doing right now? To put my rights, to put my ego, to put my pride aside and allow myself to be stripped of any entitlement that I have, to be humbled in this season, maybe for what God is preparing for me next in this life that is bigger and better and more awesome than you could ever imagine, in this life that is true to you. So write down your answer to that question and then join me for part 4, where we are continuing this series of 5 ways to be true to you.